Gallifrey Gals. Gallifrey Gals. Gallifrey Gals. Welcome to our sci-fi world.
Recording in progress. Hello, everyone. Welcome
What's
to the
up?
Gallifrey Gals.
Get warped.
That's right. We're watching Star Trek The Next Generation. We are almost at the
Damn
end of
straight.
season 6. It's episode 24.
We're so close.
And I'm Paula.
I'm Katrina.
And I have a couple bites of string cheese left because I can't do a reaction without a snack-tion.
Snacko.
So, there we are.
You know, yeah, we are on episode 24 of season 6.
That's
I
right.
cannot believe that I am one season away from having watched Star Trek The Next Generation in its full... Again,
Yeah.
something we discussed recently, and I can't remember if it happened in it was our Q&A on Patreon. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/GallifreyGals. We have some really cool stuff that goes on there, and for the last week of the holiday, which this might be coming in the new year, we did a really fun little Q&A.
This is called Second Chances.
A second chances?
No, it's called Second Chances.
Oh, got it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And we actually know someone who kind of sort of worked on this episode. So I've got a bit of a
we
story to
do.
tell. Hopefully I will remember all names and places properly. But I have a bit of a story to tell at the end of it. So you can hear a
can't
little
wait.
more about the creation of this episode, which is very interesting. So
Second chances, baby.
yeah.
Let's do
We're
it.
gonna watch it, and then afterwards we'll get into
We'll
it.
talk. All right, see y'all there.
The next transport window will not occur for another 8 years, when the planet's orbit will bring it close enough to the sun to dephase the distortion field.
Okay, notify the away team. We'll be going in ahead of schedule. I'll tell the captain.
Isaac.
This is different than I remember. This place was a mess when we left.
Am I supposed to remember this?
No, this is
Okay.
from something that
Good.
happened 8 years ago, basically.
Someone was here.
Yeah.
A ship could have been caught in the distortion field and crashed.
Woo, woo,
May I ask how you got here?
8 years ago, I led a team to evacuate the station. What ship were you on? The Potemkin. If you check with Starfleet, I'm sure they recorded that I was lost on that day. That's not what happened.
No.
I was the last one out, and I made it back to the Potemkin. You don't believe me?
No.
It's not that we don't believe you.
I don't.
It's hard to see how both stories could be true.
I hope you understand our need to verify your claim.
Yes, sir.
Genetically, he is indistinguishable from Commander Riker.
I don't know who or what made it back to the Potemkin that day, but it wasn't me.
Lieutenant, our chief engineer is checking
Fun.
the transporter logs of the Potemkin. Perhaps that will shed some light on the matter.
Could you
And in
imagine
the
they were
meantime,
like,
you'll be
JK.
taken to your quarters.
It's never been
Make yourself
Riker.
as comfortable as possible.
JK, he's
will.
been body snatched this whole
The
time.
replicators
The
on the
whole
station
fucking
haven't
time.
worked for a long
Plot
time. It's been a while
twist.
since I've had a decent meal.
Up until that moment, you were the same person.
But of course, as you and Lieutenant Riker have
Transporter
lived
science is so
lives
fucked.
for the past 8 years,
It's
you've
incredibly
met very different
fucked.
People. I suppose it's a little like meeting someone's twin.
Only 2 pips and a yellow shirt. Weird.
Yeah, weird, right?
Come in.
Oh, because they knew each... Oh.
You're on board because of him.
No. Commander Riker and I are friends. Close friends, but nothing more. He chose to make his career a priority. There wasn't much time for anything else. We kept in touch, but we didn't see each other again until we were both posted to the Enterprise 2 years later. By then, our feelings for each other had changed. Captain Picard wanted me to find out if you'd be willing to help us retrieve the station's database.
I'd be happy to help.
Do you feel up to it?
Absolutely.
Good, I'll tell the captain. Well,
He's so not
I
up
have
for
to
it.
Yeah.
I'd like to be with you again.
Oh, that's so complicated.
Good night, Will.
Yep.
We are losing time. Lieutenant Riker should be here.
Or
Computer, locate Lieutenant.
You were supposed to report here at 800 hours.
I'm sorry, I guess it's been a while since you've had to punch a clock. Let's go.
Oh, it's so weird.
yeah, it's super weird.
So strange.
You know, I've been thinking we should probably let Dad know what happened.
What did he say when you turned down your own command?
He couldn't understand why I did it.
For once, he and I agree on something.
Riker to Enterprise.
The Forge here.
We're ready to beam out. You go ahead. I'll be finished by the time you get back. Hold it.
I gave you an order, Lieutenant.
Oh, you romantic son of a bitch.
Janarin Falls.
I remember. Where did you get
I
this?
made it. Sometimes I would look up into the sky and I'd think, if I tried hard enough, I could make you feel my presence. That if I could let you know that I was alive, maybe you'd wait for me.
The other day when I told you about how Commander Riker and I didn't meet on Riser, what I didn't say was how disappointed I was.
You didn't have to.
I spent a lot of time thinking about him. Wondering where he was, what he was doing. Sometimes I'd look into the sky and imagine that he knew. So, who knows? Maybe one night we were looking up at the same star and you were thinking about me. And in a way, I was thinking about you.
Well, I think I'll call it a day.
So quickly, she said, well,
Bye.
I'm tired.
Bye.
See ya. No.
What's that called?
Spicy. Of course I support this. Are you kidding me? God damn it. Oh, this is just a soap opera episode.
This
Jesus
is
Christ.
yeah, this is something.
This is a literal soap opera episode.
If you want to be with him, you don't have to ask my permission.
Oh.
The look in your eyes, I recognize it.
This must be very strange for you.
Ever since he came on board, I find myself thinking about the choice that you and I made. Do me a favor. Be careful. If he had gotten off the planet instead of me, don't you think he would have made the same choices that I made?
2 pair.
Full boat.
Oh, someone spend $5,000 and give me that.
Or you could just give that to our Patreon. That would be okay with me.
Fine.
Commander, I'll play these.
Damn.
Here's your 10, and it'll cost you another 100.
It's not real money anyways, Riker. Other Riker, Lieutenant Riker. Fucking
I've
hell.
practiced in the mirror too long to be fooled by that face. 300 more.
Oh my god, it's not even real
Now I know
money.
you're bluffing. Are you in or not? Why don't we get this over with? I'll call your 3, and I'll raise you anything you've got left. Take it. You always had the better hand in everything.
Oh, Deanna.
Come in.
I'm sorry to just stop by like this, but there's something I'd like to talk to you about. Captain Picard has made some inquiries and managed to get me a posting on the Gandhi. And considering how long I've been out of commission, it's an amazing opportunity. After I've served for 6 months, I'm eligible to bring family aboard.
And so she's
We
expected
got
to.
married.
You said those exact words to me before you went to serve on the Potemkin.
I would never hurt you, Deanna.
It's not just that. I've worked hard to make a life for myself on the
Yeah.
Enterprise. I'm happy here.
If the situation were different, I'd stay.
I just don't know if I'm ready to give up my life here.
Oh, my head hurts.
Yeah. Oh, Deanna.
You ready, Commander? You're with me, Lieutenant. I thought Commander Data's expertise doesn't take that much expertise to repair a servo link.
Okay.
You and I can handle it.
Some of
Well,
it.
perhaps it is more a matter of seeing something in your double. Something you do not like in yourself.
I think that is exactly what
That's why we struggle to get along with people who are too much like us.
This is it.
it can be very difficult.
Yeah.
It's leaking ion radiation. Why didn't you report this?
Because it
It wasn't here
before.
before.
Yeah, look at
Must
his
have just
face.
happened recently.
Yeah, I can't wait for this Riker to. Yeah.
Hang on!
Like, literally use my body, step on my face if you have to, climb out. Like. Thank you.
We have retrieved the database from Navala
Wait,
Station.
what?
And are headed for our rendezvous with the Gandhi.
They just kind of skipped over them getting out of there.
Come in.
And he didn't die? He's just gonna get to. There's just gonna be a second Will. Yeah, I know.
The Gandhi's going on a terraforming mission to the Lagana sector.
Strange. Yep. Okay. Weird. Weird.
I waited a long time.
Weird.
I guess I can wait a little longer.
My bad for apparently talking over and missing how they both exist at the
No,
same time.
I think in the moment, and I almost in the moment went, "Did you hear? You saw how this happened, right?" But it's completely fine.
How
So
am I supposed to trust a double?
it's hard to trust.
Especially on
So
this show.
when they had that meeting in the ready room, or
Yes.
they were talking about how when Riker was originally, did they actually say what they changed his name, and that must not come out until later.
Oh, it was
They
the
changed his name to
transport.
Tom. It's Thomas Riker is what they end up calling him, but which is
The
how they
second
reference,
Riker.
how they reference him in here. But I don't remember them actually ever saying that in this episode.
Nope.
But so when original Riker was trying to be rescued, there was all this interference and an issue, and so the person running the teleporter, I almost said teleprompter, created a copy of, so every time you use the
Yeah,
transporter,
it's a
not
copy.
the teleporter,
So
it makes a
that's-
copy of you. So basically every time you use it, essentially a version of you disappears and a
Dies,
new version
and a
of you
new
is
copy of you
created.
exists.
So there's two now genetic copies of him, and instead of what the original plan was just so they had a backup, and then when they both came up, he would take those two copies and merge them into one. So it would just be one person. But what happened that no one realized is one of the signals made it back
Made
through
it back,
without
and
the
the other
second
one
one,
didn't.
and the other one bounced back from it was blocked, and it bounced back and
Got it.
ended up. So he got reconstituted
Transported,
basically
yeah.
back onto the planet. And so that's where the second Riker.
Interesting.
So one made it and one didn't.
Got it.
And no one realized that there were two.
Got it.
So that's how that happened. And I'm sorry that you spent a good chunk of the episode feeling unclear about that.
That's okay. That's not your
so,
fault.
yeah.
I talked through it.
I don't know that I don't know
I
that
don't-
you did. I think you just didn't quite catch it because
Everything going on and the fact that there's another
Yeah.
Riker there and he's falling in
It's
love
a
with
lot.
Troy and
It's a lot,
What?
yeah.
That was just a soap opera episode. That was an episode of Days of Our Lives, and no one can tell me otherwise. You can't tell me otherwise. Are you kidding me? When he kisses her in front of himself? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. How weird.
It's weird.
And just painful for Troy. I can't move him. He's just stuck.
That's where he
here.
is. That's a spot.
Are we done? Okay, goodbye. Oh, you fucking asshole. Get out of here. Okay, let's talk about our lovely connections. What do we
Let's
got?
talk about the thing real quick. Let me just see. I wonder actually what this says here. so we have this friend Josh.
Yes.
I don't know if we want to say his whole name or not.
I mean, he's in the industry and all the things, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
So Josh Friedman,
Yes.
who has been in the industry for a long time. So the story starts, it's like early 90s. And I'm going to do my best to retell this story.
Yes.
And there may be small things I don't get exactly right, but hopefully I do it some semblance of justice. So Katrina, you may know some of this, but
I know none of
he was
this.
in like 92, I think it was. He was working at his first job. I believe it was called Deke Enterprises. Deke Entertainment, that's what it was. It's an animation company. So he was working in animation on Sonic the Hedgehog, Inspector Gadget, The Real Ghostbusters, shows like that. And made friends with someone in the legal department who was like, who was kind of a connection to other people. He's like, Star Trek is accepting pitches for stories, which is something that a lot of writer shows used to do more, I think, than they do now. And we've talked a lot about how a lot of the episodes we've watched were like originally pitched by it was a spec script that got accepted and bought, and then they rewrote it. So he had a friend at the time who was pitching to Star Trek, to TNG. His name. What happened to that? There it is.
Oh, I got it. There was a cat.
His name was Mike. Michael Medlock is his name. And
amazing.
But his pitches kept getting rejected for one reason or another, but they kept inviting him back, which was like a big thing. But he was like, I'm kind of running out of ideas here. And Josh was like, well, why don't you and me and our other friend, Keith, this guy, Keith Matz,
okay.
And he told me all of these full names and spelled them for me, so I'm assuming that means it's cool for me to say everybody's names. But
definitely.
Why don't we sit around and like spitball some ideas together and help you come up with stuff? And Mike was like, yeah, cool, because you know what could happen? If I sell a script, I might get on the writing staff, and then I might be able to help bring you all on to the writing staff, is the plan here.
Definitely.
So, they're throwing things around, and Keith basically comes up with this idea of what if there are two Rikers, and originally pitches it as the tale of two Rikers. And so they work on this pitch together, and then Mike goes and presents it. They like it. They buy it. They make the episode.
Amazing.
Now, so officially, Michael Medlock has the story by credit. He is the one who officially pitched it.
Yes.
And there's some other situations that the other two are not credited on it because officially it was Michael's pitch. And I don't think he wasn't able to get anyone on the writing staff, and also I think there was a falling out when it came to money of the payment,
get out of here,
of who got what and how things were shared. And poor Josh was like, one got the money, one got the writing credit, and I got nothing. And I got nothing.
That's how it goes.
He has a lot of information about like how did the story start out and what did they originally pitch. It's really interesting. So actually the first thing I'll say is the thing Josh specifically contributed to the story that made it into the episode was that little romantic scavenger hunt. He's like, that's the thing I used to do with the people I dated, and I thought, wouldn't that be cute? And he put it in there. So he put that in the pitch, and it ended up
such a Josh
staying
thing. Oh my God.
in the episode.
Knowing Josh, Josh, I see you. I see you, of course.
But they had so the original idea, some of the ways they had originally pitched it, and he's made sure to say to me like, we really like what they did with it. It was really interesting. But so originally they had, when they see Lieutenant Riker, he's a bit more like how I picture it is Robin Williams when he's first found in Jumanji.
That's what I would think. That's what I would.
But they like kept him cleaned up and stuff.
They kept him clean.
But yeah, at first it was like he was supposed to be a bit more Robinson Crusoe in appearance. And what they wanted was, in their version, the two Rikers were not on the ship together. Commander Riker stayed behind on the planet to like repair or do whatever, and Lieutenant Riker went back up. So they were kind of having each
interesting.
other's experiences separately. So Lieutenant Riker is like, oh, this is what it would have been like if I had been able to be with
Yeah.
Deanna all this time. And Commander Riker is
Interesting.
like, oh, this is what it would have been like if I hadn't
I
been.
had been stuck here.
I had been stuck here, and he was like found all these. So there's only one drawing in the episode that made it in, but
Yeah.
in the original pitch there was like tons of drawings, and a lot of them
Yeah.
of Deanna. And so like Commander Riker rediscovering his love for Troy
Yeah.
by seeing
Ugh.
how this version of him still held on to it, while Lieutenant Riker getting to experience some of the things that Commander Riker had, you know, and kind of the things they
Yeah.
discovered about themselves in those two different experiences. Now,
Interesting.
so what the big change here was Renee Echevarria, who is the writer of the episode, who took the
Yeah,
pitch and
the
actually
pitch,
wrote the
yeah.
episode, changed it and put them together to have them like bounce off each other more.
I
Which
can
is
see
interesting. They also in the original had Lieutenant Riker die, and when they were over the chasm, they were like,
I
"Well,
was
we
hoping
can't have
they
two
didn't do
Rikers
that.
on the show. We can't do that. He's got to die, obviously." But the show itself went, "No, we can have two," and he goes on to like be in novels, and he's spoilers, I guess, but like he's in an
Fine.
episode of Deep Space Nine, and
Amazing. That is
know,
to be expected. That's to be
um,
expected.
So that's
Wow.
kind of long story
Sorry.
short, I suppose, but.
Fantastic.
And they were excited because like LeVar Burton directed this one, and it's just cool because
Yeah.
you know it's neat to know someone who helped come up with the idea for this episode. And when we were originally talking about it, I was like, "Wait, you helped with that episode?"
Yeah. I love
Because
it.
it's such a crazy idea to me that there could be a second copy of yourself who had a
because of
completely different
technology.
experience to you, and
Because of a blip.
also, I feel like they keep talking like, "Oh, Will and I don't have feelings for each other anymore." And
That
I'm
was
like,
a
"But
sack
you
of
do.
shit.
You
do.
absolutely
I'm sorry.
do.
The last 6 years I've been watching you guys.
Like you do.
You definitely do.
When he was gonna die, you were there. When you were gonna die, he
Yeah.
was there. You know, like you.
Yeah. No,
like,
no, no,
that's-
no,
no,
no, no, no,
you-
Don't
you
try to
do
sit
love
there
each
and
other.
pretend like you don't. Mm-mm.
You love each other.
Uh-uh.
But yeah. So that's
Ooh.
the basic story that Josh was like. People
Amazing.
don't really know this, and you know. There's
I
no
love
way to
it.
really like
how do you-
prove it, because he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not credited on it, but here's how this came together.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
yeah, I
Hollywood's
was
a
part of the
wild
team that helped come up
place.
with the idea, and yeah.
So wild.
So yeah,
Well, that's fun.
it's kind of crazy.
Wow. Well,
So-
thank you, Josh, for sharing that.
Yes,
with
thank
us.
you,
And
Josh.
wow, being a part of that's fucking dope.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
love it.
Oh
my god.
Oh gosh, and there was another title of it too. So when they pitched it, it was Tale of Two Rikers, and then they changed it to something else before it ended up on Second Chances. And now I cannot remember what the other one was, but
Well,
I
know.
don't remember now.
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I like the Tale of
that's
Two
that.
Rikers though.
Yeah,
Well, that was a fun one.
it's wild. You're right. It's wild. It's very like
It is
I
a Days of Our
really
Lives episode.
feel for Deanna in this
Yeah,
episode. being
totally.
like-
Are you kidding me? Are you
because
kidding me?
they're not wrong that like if only one Riker had come back, like if there was only one Riker,
Yeah.
things would have happened the way they happened.
And they
'Cause
would have
that
happened
is the man he
exactly how
was.
they
So like
happened.
there's this other guy who his life is different, so he's thinking about you differently. But if that's the pattern that had come back, he probably would have made the exact same decisions.
Yeah.
You know, because yeah. Anyway.
Ugh.
Yep.
Good stuff, y'all.
So that's that. That's episode 24 of TNG.
Thanks for being here with us. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for getting to almost the end of season 6. We're so freaking close.
Yeah, we are.
If you
We
want to help
are.
support us as we get there and help make the channel absolutely possible, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/GallifreyGals.
That's
You
right.
get to watch full-length reactions,
Mhm.
get access to our Discord community,
Mhm.
you get to see other fun little things and
Mhm.
hang out with us, and it's a blast. If not, we understand you can subscribe and comment and all of those things and hit the bell and hang out with us. 20,000 coming up. Gonna do some movies.
It's pretty.
Some watch-alongs. And for those of you worried, we talked about doing watch-along live on YouTube when we hit 20,000 subscribers. Hopefully that timing works out. When you do something like that on YouTube, it records it and it posts it as a later video.
Oh, yes.
You
yes,
guys
the
will have
live
opportunity-
streams live as videos on the channel.
You can go back and find when I live streamed the Doctor Who video game that we
When
were,
we live streamed a
given.
Q&A forever ago.
That is still there for you guys to go back and watch. So don't worry about that. If you cannot watch the live stream with us when that happens, you will still be able to do so. I just saw some people worried about that, and I just want to lay that out there. That's all.
Yeah.
Y'all are great.
You are great.
Thanks for hanging.
And, catch your Gallifrey Gals next time as we boldly watch what no cat has ever watched before.
See you later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a little thumbs up, and if you want to be notified when we post new content, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit that little bell in the corner.